And I want to review a couple of things from days 1 and 2. The first day, we talked about the energy of clutter, and that's what that handout's about. So if you were not here on day 1, you can go and watch the recording and catch up, join the Facebook group, and all the recordings are going to be there. So let's see. Easier to move stuff on, especially clothes. Oh, Nancy's preparing for a move. Yeah, that's huge. That's a great opportunity, Nancy, to really get clear about what's important in your life. And it can be really hard. And the suggestion I would make to anyone who's thinking of moving is it's going to take longer than you think to go through all that stuff. So just give yourself as much time and get as much support as you can. I want to just review a couple of things from day 1 and 2. From day 1, we talked about the energy of clutter, and we talked about starting with your treasures. So you might want to go through your home and look for things that you really, really love. And then that puts all of that other stuff in perspective. So and then the energetic effects of clutter handout explains how as clutter accumulates, energy stagnates, more clutter accumulates, etc. And then from day 2, we talked about picking a small area and ideally something that's not really hard for you, something that's maybe old or you don't have a lot of sentimental attachment to, and also to keep it simple and avoid perfectionism. And a lot of the people who were there for that day felt like the perfectionism thing was a really important thing for them to think about, and that it was something that was indeed holding them back. Talked a little bit about how to get started. So I'll encourage you to listen to those videos, watch those videos if you were not with us live. Today, what I promised was to tell you how to break things down. And so in order to do that, I want to do a screen share and show you a picture of a desk. This was, what one might call a rather cluttered desk. And just to look at it, you'd be going, I don't even know where to start. So I'll share with you a little bit about how we started and what we did. We started with this area up in the right-hand corner because I guessed that was the most current stuff. And when I asked the client, she confirmed that this was the most active stuff. So that's what we started with. Basically, the whole room was cluttered. So what we did was we actually took the items from there into the dining room, which was right next door. And then we implemented my paper decluttering guidelines, which you can find that in the group or on YouTube. But basically, we start with a big sort. And, no matter what category you're working with, try to start broad. So with papers, you might start with finances, medical, family, home, whatever categories work for you. Don't get bogged down in the details. Now, this is true for other categories of things as well. For clothes, just start by sorting shirts, pants, dresses, whatever. Then take a particular category and work through it. So in the case of paper, you might sit down and go, oh, well, these old financial records are really, a lot of them are old and I don't really need them anymore. If you're not sure, consult with your financial advisor on that. Then we came back and we only put in that space things that she really used on a daily basis. And I wish I'd thought to show an after picture, but maybe I'll put that in the group. Basically there were no papers there. We set up some upright files on the right. She had a pencil holder. It was very soothing to sit at that desk then. And, then we just took it step by step, like we dealt with the overflowing drawer, which is down here on the right. And, we first dealt with the papers, and then we took things out of the drawer and only put back the things that she wanted to use. So that's an example of, and then we went, the area there around the printer was not really that hard, but it was a lot of papers. And I think if you have areas other than paper to start with, if you're new to all of this, you might benefit from starting with something like clothes or some other category where you can see your progress more, because it's just more satisfying. However, if papers is your deal, I can definitely help you with that. In the last 15 years, I have discovered that for most people, most of my clients, papers are the big issue. And so, I can definitely help you with that. And there is a unit in the Facebook group all about papers. It's got a video and a PDF, instructions. So the other way that one can break a task down, as opposed to breaking it down, I broke it down sort of by sections, by visual sections. Another way to break an overwhelming project down is to do it by category. So for example, if you have, let's say you have a whole basement full of things, which many of my clients and students have had, and you just don't know where to start down there, you could start with camping gear or books or old kids' toys, as opposed to, specific spaces in the basement. So, that's pretty much all we'll have time to talk about today. I will say these are just some general guidelines. Take it out first, no matter what you're decluttering. If you're decluttering a drawer or a closet, or in this case, this desk, take everything out, find a place to spread it out. If you don't have anywhere to spread it out, put a sheet on a bed and spread it out there. One of my students from my last group course calls this the magic sheet. Don't tell her, but I was just going to tell her to put that on there so she wouldn't get dust on her bed. But she decided that it's a magic sheet, and because everything she puts on there to sort, she does. She just does it. So a lot of my other students have tried that now too, and I have a lot of believers in the magic sheet. Once you've got things on the magic sheet, sort like a kindergartner. And I covered that a little bit, break it down into categories, just like with like. Then you're going to start to make decisions. You might want to take a little break before you get to the decision-making part, because that can be a little more trying. And while you're at it, clean out whatever, area you're decluttering. Just wipe it down. Doesn't have to be a deep clean, but that's very good energetically from a feng shui perspective. And you might as well while you've got everything out. And then once you've made your decisions and decided what to put back, it's time to celebrate. So tomorrow, when we do our decluttering day, you'll have an opportunity to celebrate when you come back for the success check-in or the reveal. And I'll be offering some guidelines for how to pick a project. Yeah, how to pick a small project. So that is what I have for you today. Tomorrow we'll do our decluttering day, and then Saturday we'll be celebrating, and I'll be giving out the prizes. And thank you for being here.